Morning, everyone. Just 9 minutes late. Understand the issues with the elevators. If we can still try to make it on time, because we do have a great deal of work to do over the next few weeks, and because of the issues at the beginning of session, it's going to be important that we keep our nose at the grindstone. I want to welcome everyone to the House Ag, Chesapeake and Natural Resources Committee. As the sort of extraordinary Article 11, the conservation section of the Virginia Constitution states, we have a very special charge on this committee to protect our atmosphere, lands, and waters from pollution, impairment, or destruction for the benefit, enjoyment, and general welfare of the people of the Commonwealth. As I've said in the past, we also have a serious responsibility to be a strong advocate for the largest industries and economic drivers in Virginia, our ag and forestry industries. And we also all know the facts. Agriculture in Virginia has an economic impact of over $83 billion annually, providing more than 390,000 jobs and $45 billion in value-added impact. The industries of ag and forestry together have a total impact of over $105 billion, provide more than 490,000 jobs in the Commonwealth. Virginia's ag and forestry industries also account for exports were valued at more than $5.1 billion in 2022. So, together, I think we can ensure that Virginia has a growing and vibrant ag and forestry industry. And I'll say it again this year and every year. I think one of our major focuses needs to be making sure that it's easier for farmers in Virginia to stay farming. In the end, I hope we can continue to ensure that these issues remain bipartisan, and I hope that we can find a lot of common ground on the issues that are going to be before us this session. Before we get into our just one bill this morning, I want to have just three things. I want to talk about, I want to have member introductions, also do some, have a quick conversation about committee procedures, and then go over the subcommittee assignments this year, and then we'll have our one bill on the docket. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to the Vice Chair of the committee, Delegate Negarius Clark. If you could just give us your name, your district number, and one thing we don't know about.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Negarius Clark, delegate representing the 84th District, which includes parts of Suffolk, Chesapeake, the city of Franklin, and Isle of Wight County. And I would say one thing, God, you put me on the spot. One fun fact, I'm a swimmer. I love to swim. I swim competitively in high school, and I still enjoy swimming. Oh, well, the question was asked, what's my favorite stroke, and it's the backstroke.
I'm David Bulova. I represent the 11th House District. That's the city of Fairfax, parts of central Fairfax County, George Mason University. And I guess sticking on that theme, I love to hike and also ran cross country during high school.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Kathy Tran. I represent the 18th House District, which is mostly southeast Fairfax County. So if you're passing through the mixing bowl where I-95, 395, and 495 come together, I'm on the communities to the west and south of that. One fun fact is my family and I are trying to visit all of the state parks, but we do one state park, a new state park for Father's Day, so it's going to take us a really long time to get through the 40-plus state parks.
I'm Delegate Dan Helmer. I represent the 10th House of Delegates District, which is directly adjacent to Delegate Tran's. If you just keep driving, you will get there. It is parts of Centerville, Clifton, Fairfax Station, and Burke. And a fun fact about us following on this theme is my family and I are avid campers and have visited many of our state parks and national parks as well, and look forward to working with this committee to make sure that's available to all Virginians.
Good morning. I'm Delegate Shelley Simons. I represent part of Newport News along the James River from the Mariners Museum all the way up to Fort Eustis. And fun fact about me, I also ran cross country. Didn't know that about Delegate Bulova. But I'm a home cook, and I love cooking Virginia seafood. I love eating oysters and frying up some blue catfish.
Good morning, Delegate Rodney Willett representing the 58th District. That's Western Henrico. A lot of my colleagues discovered Western Henrico this past week when we did have water and the city didn't. That changed later. You're welcome there anytime, whether there's a water crisis or not. At one point, I considered myself a fairly good gardener farmer. I grew a 200-pound pumpkin, which I thought was gigantic. But I learned going to state fairs and whatnot, that's nothing. 200 pounds doesn't even get you in the competition. So I've got a long ways to go, but it's great to be with you. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Charnel Herring. I represent the western part of Alexandria City as well as parts of Fairfax County. My fun fact is I love to hike, especially on the trails off the Skyline Drive. And I see you, Delegate Simons, with the frying the catfish. I love frying catfish, but especially Kentucky Lake catfish from my mom's hometown. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Paul Krizek, and I am the delegate for the 16th District. And a fun fact about my district is we have one farm, but it's George Washington's farm. So I recommend you all come and visit. And a fun fact about me is I love gardening, and I'm a big composter.
Good morning. I'm Delegate Jackie Hope Glass, representing the 93rd District, which is parts of Norfolk. Fun fact, I'm just overall curious, and I've had a rock collection since I was like 6.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Delegate Phil Hernandez. I represent the best part of Norfolk, the northernmost part of the city that sits right on the Chesapeake Bay. I can see it from my window at home and love Virginia seafood. One of my favorite days here in session is when we all get to eat oysters when we're on our walk to caucus. And I don't know who won first place last year, but I'm coming for the title this year in terms of most oysters eaten. So get ready.
Hi, I'm Delegate Amy Lawfer, and I represent the 55th District, which is parts of Albemarle, Nelson, Louisa, and Fluvanna. I grew up on a dairy farm, and back to the college and high school sports, I was on the dance squad, and I still love Zumba, but I love hiking as well, and I'm with Delegate Herring. I love going up to the skyline. Thanks.
Good morning. I am Hillary Kent, representing District 67, which is the Northern Neck and a part of Caroline along the Rappahannock and Potomac rivers. And my fun fact, not to probably steal Webert's thunder, but I paid for all of my college books with the legacy of the beef cow that my granddad gave me when I was 5. So thank you for the beef cattle industry paying for my college books.
Good morning. Chris Runyon, representing 35th District, which is all of Highland, all of Bath, most of Augusta, and the southern portion of Rockingham. My wife and I live on a small farm in southern Rockingham, and I think a fun fact is that we'll go with the park side, is that I have the oldest park in the Commonwealth, and perhaps the newest park. I'm looking at Director Wells there, right? And the what's the one in name in Highland? Hayfields Park, yes. Thank you.
Delegate Buddy Fowler. It's the 59th House District. It's Hanover, a little bit of Henrico, and Louisa. Let me see. Buddy Fowler fun facts. Okay.
They're too numerous that you can talk about.
Well, I actually built the house that I live in. I can do all the electrical. I'm very handy. My wife likes that. The only thing I didn't do was the plumbing, because, you got to be careful with plumbing. Let me see. I'm a fisherman, all that. I've got, 49, I think at last count, trophy fish citations. And in sports and basketball, I think I probably have the record. If anybody in here can top it, let me see. I hit 48 free throws in a row. So there we go. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Rob. Good morning. I'm Rob Blocks, and I represent the 100th District. And a fun fact, I guess, about me is that as another day job, I raise clams and oysters. It was a hobby that turned profitable.
Good morning. I'm Delegate Michael Weber, represent the 61st District. Raised some phenomenal beef, as Delegate Kent referred to. But fun fact is, I am the current reigning oyster eating champion for the Chesapeake Bay, and I have the belt in my office to prove it.
I'm Delegate Tony Wilt, represent the 34th House District, City of Harrisonburg, and a portion of Rockingham County. And it's much of a fun fact, but I've developed a pretty fair green thumb. I enjoy flower gardening.
Delegate Bobby Orrock, the 66th District. That's southern Spotsylvania and western Caroline County. Fun fact, my late wife and I loved to sing, and were actually asked to perform a duet at our church once.
Tommy Wright, 50th District in Southside, Virginia, which includes Mecklenburg, Lunenburg, most of Prince Edward, all of Charlotte, and the northern part of Halifax. And I love living in the country. I've got some wonderful state parks in my district. My favorite is Occoneechee, and I enjoy hunting, fishing, riding a four-wheeler, and my wife and I enjoy going out to eat too. So we have a pretty full life in Southside, and glad to be here this morning. Thank you.
I'm Delegate Lee Weir in the 72nd District. I represent all of the counties of Nottoway, Amelia, and Powhatan, and a portion of Chesterfield, northwestern Chesterfield. Probably one of the most productive areas from an agricultural standpoint outside the Valley of Virginia. A lot of farming that goes on there. I live up the road from a little hamlet called Tobaccoville, and I won't go any further on that. Other than to say one of the things I enjoy the most is reading, and thus, if you look at my tie this morning, there are various authors listed on the tie.
That's great. Well, I think it's fairly evident that everyone here has deep roots in the Commonwealth, and most folks actually didn't talk about some of their connection to farming and industries along the shore and the bay. But I think we're very lucky with the deep expertise we have in this committee, not just in areas of ag, but also in environmental policy. And so I'm looking forward to the good work we're going to be able to do this year. Before I go on and move on to the committee procedures, I just want to recognize a couple folks who, without their incredible work, we would not be able to function as a committee. And Anissa, could you say a few words, like just the same thing?
Good morning. I'm Anissa. I'm DLS staff.
And Robert?
Robert Asplin, I'm representing the clerk's office. I love my oysters. Catfish, not so much.
Okay. All right. So before we get into our very short agenda today, I'd like to discuss some things about how our committee will be conducting our business again this session. We're very lucky on this committee that so many of us, of our members, have served on the committee for many years. Our committee has a long tradition of civility. This was a hallmark of the way former Chairman Plum and former Chairman Ware manage things. Indeed, we've always maintained a very high level of decorum and respect in civil discourse. While we have very different ideas and dreams, I think, about how to address issues of the Commonwealth, we all want Virginia to improve and move forward, and we all want Virginia to be an even better place. So secondly, I'd like to remind everyone to use your request to speak button when you have questions, and I will recognize you in the order you request to be recognized. Since we may have many people here at different times that will want to comment and speak to legislation before us at any given meeting, I want to make sure that we allow sufficient and equal time from the public. I also want to make sure that we have enough time to allow for questions from members. With that in mind, typically I'll allow 4 minutes for the patron to speak and present their bill to the committee, 3 minutes for those who wish to speak in favor of the bill, 3 minutes for those who wish to speak in opposition to the bill. Then we'll have 5 minutes for the committee to ask questions. All this being said, I'm going to be flexible, particularly when we have issues that require it. At the same time, it's my hope that we'll be able to dispatch some of our bills more quickly. Like I said at the very beginning, we have not that much time in terms of the number of meetings we're going to have. And so it's important that we definitely keep our nose to the grindstone. Overall, we want to be fair to everyone who comes before this committee, so we all have time. We will have time. We will have a time clock. So in a nutshell, these time limits are goals, but may change depending on the issue or the meeting. And for the audience, and I'm looking at some of the lobbyists because, you know, you guys are known rabble-rousers, especially Matt Wells. For the audience, thank you for caring about these issues and for being here and for joining us online. We take your input very seriously, and we will always welcome it under our rules. On behalf of all of us, we deeply appreciate your exercising your right to petition state government. That being said, for future reference, we will not allow chanting, singing, shouting, or anything that will be disruptive to the business of the committee. Matt Wells. And for those who...
No chanting.
Exactly. Yeah, and for Bobby singing, right. And for those who bring signs, we ask that you keep your signs low so that everyone can see. And folks should confine themselves to expressing their views at the podium or after being called upon online. We also ask that you, addressing the chairman, continually state your name and whether you represent an organization. And once again, there will be a time clock that we will follow. Generally, all testimony about a bill should be heard in subcommittee. At committee meetings, except for when we bring bills straight to the full committee, subcommittee reports will include only those bills that have favorable recommendations from the subcommittee. And given time constraints, if a member asks that their scheduled bill go by for the day, because of our short time this session, there's no assurance that the committee will have the opportunity to take any action. So please, if your bill is brought up, we're not going to have much time to take stuff by for the week or the day. But we will, however, try to accommodate everyone if we can. Also, in order to better guarantee the work product of the subcommittee, members are asked to bring any substitutes or amendments to the committee staff attorney. And let me repeat this. If you have substitutes or amendments, please bring them to the staff attorney at least 24 hours in advance prior to the subcommittee meeting, when possible. Substitutes and amendments that are adopted by a subcommittee receive a favorable recommendation will be posted online prior to the full committee meeting. It's for everyone in the audience and for the ease of advocates being able to address the needs of the actual legislation before us. And accommodation for individuals with hearing impairment may be made by calling the House Clerk's office, and all requests for interpreters must be received at least 3 business days in advance, and interpreters can be provided at meetings for specific requests. Are there any questions about that from the committee? Like I said, I will try to be as lenient and flexible as possible. With regard to subcommittee assignments, if you actually, Mr. Clerk, if you could announce the subcommittee assignments.
Oh, okay. My pleasure. There are 3 subcommittees in this full committee. Chesapeake Subcommittee, which will meet Mondays at 4 p.m. in House Room A downstairs. The members of that subcommittee include Delegate Clark, Delegate Herring, Delegate Kriesik, Delegate Hernandez, Delegate Laufer, Delegate Bloxham, Delegate Ware, Delegate Wilt, Delegate Webert, and the chair is Delegate Bulova. Natural Resources will meet prior to this full committee meeting on Wednesdays at 7:30 in this room, House Room B. Include members Delegate Herring, Delegate Kriesik, Delegate Willett, Delegate Glass, Delegate Hernandez, Delegate Wright, Delegate Ware, Delegate Bloxham, and Delegate Runyon, and the chair is Delegate Kathy Tran. Agriculture Committee will meet in the South Subcommittee room on the 2nd floor, right down the hall here. The members include Delegate Clark, Delegate Willett, Delegate Glass, Delegate Hernandez, Delegate Laufer, Delegate Webert, Delegate Wilt, Delegate Fowler, and Delegate Runyon, and the chair is Delegate Dan Helmer.
Thank you, Mr. Aspel. All right, with that, we'd like to just deal with the one bill before the full committee today. Delegate Helmer, if you can go to the podium.
You want to take attendance?
Oh, yes, I apologize. Before we do that, can we take attendance just so that we're here? Is it not going through?
Go to right.
There we go.
Quorum is present.
All right, we have quorum present. Delegate Helmer, you present your bill, HB 1798.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, in front of you is House Bill 1798 to modernize commodity boards. For those who aren't aware, commodity boards serve products that are produced by our agriculture industry and farmers in Virginia to provide self-assessments to allow them to market and sell their goods. They are very helpful for agricultural industry. This bill simply seeks to modernize and adjust several of these boards to reflect changes in agricultural practice and the distribution of particular agricultural goods and the availability of expertise. Specifically in here, the Tobacco and Cotton Board's representation is going to be updated to reflect differences in production areas. We're going to reduce a seat on the Tobacco Board from 9 to 8, which merges several counties and just makes it more efficient. The Pork Industry Board is going to be eliminated as the industry is now handled by the Virginia Pork Council. The Egg Board is going to be scrambled from 7 to 5. And it's for you, Delegate Krizek. All right. And then the Agricultural Council is going to implement term limits. And with that, no current board members are going to be impacted. Everybody is grandfathered, so this is not some end around to remove a board member. And the industry is supportive of these changes. With that, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to take questions of the committee. I do know that we have some folks here that are ready to answer technical questions if needed.
Thank you, Delegate Helmer. Are there any questions from members of the committee regarding the bill?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. Delegate Wills.
Hit my little button.
Yep, sorry. Didn't see that.
That's fine. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was Tobacco Commission, you changing it from 9 members to 8? Was that correct?
That, Mr. Chair, I'd answer the delegate that that is correct.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Delegate Will.
I have no idea how it's made up, but is that creating like a conflict on a vote? You're going to end up with a 4-4 tie and then... Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'd answer the delegate that my understanding is the industry believes in their ability to drive consensus on the board, and so seems to be okay with that 8-person membership. I thought the same when I saw the proposed change, but if that comes to be a problem, I think we can come back and fix it. But thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any additional questions for the patron? All right. Any questions from members of the audience? Or statements? Are you speaking in favor?
Got it right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Martha Moore with Virginia Farm Bureau. We certainly do appreciate Delegate Helmer bringing this bill forward. We've met with all of the various boards, worked with all the different commodity associations impacted by this, and everyone is supportive of this, and we appreciate the ability to kind of modernize and update these statutes. These checkoff boards serve a very useful purpose as they provide a self-assessment. It goes for marketing, research, and promotion of their individual commodities. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Good morning. I'm Melissa Ball with the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, and the administration supports this bill.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Hobie Bowen with Virginia Poultry Federation, associated with the egg side of things, and we support it as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Brad Copenhaver, representing the Virginia Agribusiness Council. We also support it. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone in opposition to the bill from the public? Mr. Clerk, is anyone online? No, there's no one online? There was some confusion. Okay. Does anyone else, any additional questions from the committee?
Mr. Chair, motion to report.
Motion to report. Do we have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, let's go to the board. Oh, so.
Mr. Chair, can the clerk vote me as an aye? I can run up.
Right. By a vote of 21 to nothing, the bill passes unanimously, and the bill is reported. All right. Thank you very, very much. As I said 3 or 4 times, we don't have that much time. Please be as efficient and as effective as you can be in subcommittee, and we will have a fairly large couple dockets coming forward. Thank you very much. The committee will rise.